Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all our worldwide audience. I, Professor Nada Ratkovic, the co-founder of IIU Europe, the president of IIU Research Center, board member, and welcome you all today on the third day of the Certified Global Trainer Program. Our Sir Piyush Pandit, our founder, the visionary educationist, always had only one dream: to provide education to every learner across the world. He believes that the world is changing drastically. So there is a need to make changes in education system. And yes, we are doing that. With this thought, Sir Piyush Pandit concocted the world's first digital internship university, IIU, in 2020. IIU is providing quality, skill-based, affordable, accessible, location-independent, and skill-based digital education to all the learners across the globe, along with internship opportunities and research facilities through its 1,000-plus virtual courses to all the learners of the globe. Through the platform of MioOC, the massive open online courses with the aim of promoting internships, opportunities, and research facilities to its learners. IAU has been accredited with the World Education Organization International Accreditation in a short span of time. IAU has spread wings in 195 countries, 6 continents, with a team of 1,000-plus experienced and qualified global educators around the world. IIU is registered in India, Australia, Nepal, and with USA government. So digital education by International Internship University is for all, without any hurdles, as per the own wish of the learners and without any financial stress, which is easily accessible in every corner of the world. These 2 amazing days, we go through the models, we go through the needs and requirements, we go through the role of a trainer, we go tackling the challenges, we go through the ethics code of the conduct. Today, we are continuing. Today is our last day. It is our third day. So today, like our first trainer is our IAU core team member, Dr. Virginia Riviera. She is a certified business manager, coach, consultant with more than 25 years as a corporate and business leader. She's a president of Mujer Emprende Latina, Face Avoca 2022, and the national chair for G100 Global Networking Puerto Rico. Rivera has made a measurable impact as a passionate advocate for female economic empowerment and female entrepreneurship by uniting forces and efforts available to help women unleash their power through education to be the force they can be in order to make a world that is sustainable for all. She was chosen among the 30 under 30 Chicago Latina women who lead 2019 by the Caribbean Business Journal, Iconic Women of Excellence 2020 by Women Economic Forum, Top Management Award 2021, the Face Avoca 2022, among many others. She has pioneered her organization and promotes local economic development. She's an international speaker on the need for women's participation within the economic and political sector, empowering women to harness education as a vehicle for upward mobility. Welcome, dear Dr. Virginia. Today, enlighten us with your great training. So you are most welcome.
Well, great. Thank you so much. I am looking for my presentation because I thought I was in module 4. So let me go ahead and get that right now.
Okay, if you want, I can start first. No problem.
Okay. While I find it, because my computer's pretty new, so I know it's here. I thought I had it and it's not there. So go ahead and I'll find it right now.
Okay. Okay. Oh, let me I need to move also.
Okay, you know what? If you want, I'm already ready if you want.
Okay, you can start then. Okay, no
Okay,
problem. Yes.
I found it. Let me go ahead.
I want to thank to our great Vice Chancellor for being with us all 3 days, encouraging and yes, learning with all of us together. Thank you, Professor Charles.
Merci beaucoup, Professor Nada.
Thank you. Okay, so you can see me, but can you see my presentation?
Yes, yes, it's great. Yes,
Okay,
we see it.
wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I think that what we're going to be discussing today, and it's so important, is how to be a global trainer. And this certification, like Professor Neda said, it is really key for you not only to train, but also if you want to be a speaker, if you want to lead a department. There's so many things that you could do with this global certification. So I would say that today what we're going to be talking about is what are the challenges that we face when we are a trainer, most importantly in a global situation. And many times, and knowing that globalization has brought and technology has made our world very accessible. You could probably have a trainer for your company or whatever, or your school that lives in Australia, and you probably can be like myself, live in Puerto Rico, and know that they're like maybe 23,000 miles from there. But what's most important is that you know how to address your public and your audience. So we're going to be talking about that today and how global training is really taking over the world because, like I said before, thanks to technology, we can be anywhere. So I'm going to start now. Like Nala said, my name is Virginia Rivera, and I have been training on and off for the last 18 years. I worked for a global company called Starbucks. And prior to that, I worked for a restaurant chain called Longhorn. And I started my training experience there. I was a corporate trainer, and I would travel the world to train people where these restaurants opened. When I started with Starbucks, then I was very much involved in the learning process and the coaching process. And I have to say that it's one of the best jobs I've ever had because I had a chance and an opportunity to see what was learned in class to really help us get the results and the impact that we wanted. So when it comes to global training, collaboration today isn't blocked by borders. Work has become increasingly international, with the best talent taking on tasks remotely from anywhere in the world. And I have to tell you, if you really consider an opportunity to work from home or work remotely or have a digital nomad life, you could still be a trainer and live in 6 places in 1 year. That is still available when you have a computer and you know what you're doing. So today we're going to be talking about that. So conducting training is challenging because there's a lot to consider from the trainee's preparation to the learner's performance. So this is important. If I had not trained before, maybe my information would just be given to you, but maybe with the examples that I've learned and the experience that I've had, it changes my perspective now to make it easier for you to understand. But also, just as important is the learner's performance. So I am here giving you this information, and the learner has to be there really absorbing and just already thinking, how can I make this my own? And also thinking that your training module may change many times based on the audience, the participants, the size of the group. So just keep in mind that as trainers, you have to be very flexible and almost a magician. You have to create emotion that will stay with the recipient of the information. However, for every challenge, there are several solutions that trainers could apply to overcome those challenges. So we're going to be talking today about challenges that we may encounter when we are trainers. And that is because, like I said before, global training is very different from just a regular training. Global training means that you're opening up yourself to really deal with people that may not look like you, may not sound like you, may not speak like you, may not think like you, but you still have to give them an information that they need to receive, absorb, and apply. So when we're talking about what do we need to do, especially when it comes to cultural differences, there are a lot of differences in the world, and that's where diversity is beautiful, right? Diversity is beautiful because we're all different, but cultural differences can be a challenge, especially if traditions are more conservative than maybe myself, that I come from the Puerto Rico and the US. And although the US is a lot more liberal, the little island that I come from may be a little bit more conservative. So if I am actually imparting my training to the United States, they may think that if I don't really consider who they are and what they do, they may think that I am being very conservative. So these are very important things that we need to think about when we're talking about cultural differences. So we need to begin training with a neutral attitude and manage our gestures. Okay, so this is really important. You have to have a neutral attitude. I'm not going to think this, I'm not going to think that. The way we think at home, the way we eat at home, the way we behave is not what I'm bringing to the table. I am going to have an open mind. And I'm also going to control any gestures that may be understood in my country or who I speak to, because that may not mean the same thing in another country. For example, in Puerto Rico, if somebody tells me something and I didn't listen or I couldn't hear them, I will make a gesture with my face that lets them know I didn't know what he said. And that is usually this. I am sure that that will mean something else in another country. So we eliminate that and we make sure that we are being as clear as possible. Through technology, we have been united and people come together, and our cultural differences, gaps may have not been narrowed. So I may be able to listen to Nada, she's in her country. And although I am so close to her because I can see her right now breathing, I can see her, touching her face. Maybe our differences, that gap has not narrowed. So let's not think that because there's proximity means that we are the same. We have to continue being as respectful when it comes to cultural differences. If you have participants from multiple countries in one training session, be sure to have an audience needs analysis conversation. So when you are hired or when you decide to give a training and you have all these people signing in, it's really important that you start to see what the data says, where they're from, what are their ages, what are they doing, what they do prior. And this usually has a lot to do with what you're going to design as your data collector, right? So we'll talk about this in a little while, but right now, I just want you to think that we're going to have this audience needs analysis conversation. So we need to have a conversation about what is it that this particular audience is going to need. So we are respectful of who they are and where they are coming from. And most importantly, the manager, the person that's telling you or hiring you, will need to help you in this process. Also, we need to identify the listening, the speaking, and the writing skills of the attending learners. So we need to indicate more. We need to get more information on who are we going to be speaking to, because if not, then the cultural difference can become a challenge to learning. So this is very, very important that you really work with the person who's hiring you, or if it's just you selling your program, your training program, then you need to then really study and use data for that. Offer to have materials translated if necessary, and this is key. If you are offering a training in India, and they will tell you everybody in India speaks English, or mostly everybody, that's great. Nonetheless, you should still have in their prevalent language something that you can translate into in case the people just did not understand. When we are natives and we're speaking our native language, we speak much faster, much faster than when somebody is thinking in another language and then they're translating to speak to you. There's a process that delays that, makes it a little slower. So whoever's receiving the information may be able to understand better. But if you have a native speaker, let's say in English, then they may go so fast and you may not understand. So this is why I recommend that you always translate in the majority, whoever speaks of the language, let's say in India would be Hindi, although we know that they speak other dialects and languages, but we want to make sure that at least one group gets their information in the language that they most likely would be speaking. So this is really important. So what we're discussing here is, in order to confront challenges and really find the solution, you need to be a little bit of an inspector. You need to be a little bit of a data collector, so you know who you're exactly talking to, and you don't arrive and not know what they are going to ask you. Ask about the participants' attitudes towards people from your culture. So I don't know if you've been cognizant or if you know about this, but from the United States, if we're visiting France, people always tell us French people do not like people from the US. For whatever reasons, they may have their reasons. So if I know that and I have to present a training in France, I am going to make sure that I have learned why they don't like me, and I'm going to make sure that I will push those buttons so their dislike of me really blocks the information that I'm trying to give. So again, we're not a $100 bill or think of the biggest currency in your country. So people are not going to like us. Not everybody's going to like us. So we need to make sure that we understand how these people feel about me, my culture, or my country. So I know how to break down those barriers. So those are some of the challenges that you will face when it comes to cultural differences when you are doing training. Another one is language barriers. So you need to meet people where they are, where they're at the moment. And you may not be fluent in that language in which they're most comfortable with, but you need to at least learn a few, right? So if you're hired to give trainings in France, at least for the first time, learn to say hello, my name is, and thank you, right? These are the things that I think will be very, very handy when you start to break the ice, especially when it comes to language barriers, because language barriers can really derail a learning process. Technology can combat the majority of these barriers and ensure that learners across borders have the chance to learn and grow. So if you're not aware of the apps and the programs and software that exist that will help you translate what you're saying to people that may not necessarily speak your language, this is the time to do it. The majority of our devices come with closed caption. That's the first step, but it doesn't always resolve everything. I had when I was doing my master's and during the pandemic, the majority of my teachers were from India, and their English was perfect when it came to grammar and pronunciation, but they had an accent that I was not used to listening to. So it took me like 2 or 3 classes to get used to their rhythm and what they were saying. So those first 2 or 3 classes, I turned on my closed caption, but closed caption could not understand and pick up the nuances of their accent. So I had to go to other people and say, can you help me with this? So I just want you to know that technology is there, but you may have to put some work into it to help your trainees understand you better. And that, like I said before, may very well be have their language already set, like the documents translated, the program translated, the PowerPoint translated. So when you're done, they can go back and maybe review. And this may be happening with you today, with me. So please let me know, write that down. You're speaking too fast, or I don't understand that word, but this is a two-way street and we need to communicate. But language barriers, if they're not addressed, they could definitely derail all learning that is probably happening at that moment. And I heard Nada say that you could probably be a mentor. So training is not only the key here, you can actually be a mentor, and a mentor involves even an emotional aspect. So when you're mentoring somebody in another, that speaks another language, it's not only your words that you're actually translating, it's your body language. And if you are not aware of your body language, you may have a double barrier, not only the language that you speak, but also the language that you're communicating with your body and your gesture. There's something else that's really important when it comes to language barriers, and that's automating part of the translation process. So like I said before, that is closed captioning. So you have closed caption, and that usually says CC in your computer. And when you put that in, it's going to translate what it's listening. So if the person that's speaking is speaking slowly, they very, very well may be able to capture the majority of this information. I have to say, don't give up on automation. Automation will at least get 50% of what you're trying to say, so the person that's receiving it can understand. And the other thing, like I said before, it's your body language. Your body language doesn't lie. You may lie here, but you will never lie here. So we want to make sure that when we offering a training program, we actually practice it with somebody else so they can tell us what we are innately doing, what we're doing without even thinking, than what we're saying. So, language barriers are not only verbal, they're also body languages. So this is very, very important. Another one of the challenges that many trainers face is delivering deadlines. And I'm going to explain a little bit to you right now about time zones. If you're not aware of the difference of hours, when somebody in India tells me that they want the report or they want the training information by 5 p.m. East India Standard Time, that is actually 7:30 a.m. my time. So if I say yes, and I am not really thinking about the deadlines and how it relates to me and to them, I am going to be very late for that deadline. Or I'm going to have to hand it in very early in my time zone. So delivering deadlines is key to really getting credibility. So from delivering work projects on time to following your favorite soccer teams, all this is really important if it's done on time. So if I am training a group and we're all going to watch the soccer game together because soccer is a universal sport, and we want to do some type of bonding event or activity, I need to know what is going on with time for them. No matter what it is that we're doing, we need to know the time zones, so we know when to really follow and respect those deadlines. If not, we're going to face challenges all the time. When it comes to businesses, establishing deadlines can help companies and individuals clearly map out goals. You're a business. When you go and represent a company and you are training for that company, or you're training for yourself, or you're becoming an emissary of a message to a group of people, you need to think about what they want and really how they want it and in what timeline. It's not only about you, it's about who's hiring you and why they want this. So many times when we're not delivering the deadlines that they need, we're costing our client money. And when we cost our client money, they may not call us again, because in business, money is key. So if we are not delivering what they need, they may not hire you. And what may happen is you didn't even know that there was a deadline issue, but you need to find that out. That is really important. Also, time constraints. And I think time constraints, it's like keeping your project on the schedule. It's not what works for you. It's what works for your client or whoever hires you, or what you're trying to, or the people that you're talking to. If you're going to have a training session at 9 o'clock at night, because it's early for you, but it's 9 o'clock for them, you will have a room full of people that are sleeping when you're done. So you need to make sure that you're cognizant of their time constraints and your time constraints, right? So time constraint is a term that defines various factors that limits projects in terms of time. Many times when we do a project, we talk about a time chart, a flow chart. We want to all be on the same picture and same level of what I need and when I need it, and what you can produce for me when you can produce it. So these are things that are really important, because if not, as a trainer, especially global, you're talking about in other countries, if you don't keep that project visible for both, for the client and for yourself, you may have some issues of time constraints, right? So we need to keep that on the open. And this includes deadlines, which you spoke about, workload management. And that's when I said, who does what, and resourcing allocation. So I need to bring somebody at a certain time to do something. I need to see that on my flow chart or my time chart so I know what is needed. So this is very important. In its essence, time is limited resource, and in a project setting, this could not be any more true. And if you are part of this project that is new for a company and you're the trainer, you need to make sure that you know two things: deadlines and resources. So how are we going to do that? Number one, agree on a manageable time constraint with your stakeholders. What do they need? What do they want? And make sure that you both agree on it. And number two, map out that project timeline. Like I said, some of people call them a flow chart, a time chart. It's a project timeline. So you're both on it. One of the other things that I think is really, really important when we're training globally is the instability of networks, the impact of poor internet. And that is really nobody's fault. But if you know that you have issues with an internet, and you're going to be doing this as work, and you're going to be charging for it, it's not a voluntary thing. You need to make sure that you have plan A, plan B, and plan C. If planning is your home and it's not working, what is your plan B? Oh, my plan B is the cyber cafe that's down the road. Make sure that cyber cafe, you know the times and when, because if somebody's paying you to train, they're going to want you there at the time that is allotted. And you can't say, well, my internet is not working. If it's a voluntary thing, it's a little different, but you still should know what plan A, B, and C are. So internet is the backbone of a global trainer's business. And you need to make sure that it's fast, it's reliable, and that the internet connection is required to accommodate anything. And let me tell you, if we can't do global training if we don't have the internet. So that is the number one thing that you need to secure. If you don't have it at home and you don't have a hotspot, you don't have a cyber cafe, where would you go? And at what time would you set up to leave and get there on time so you can really give your customers and your clients what they need? If you're frazzled, if you're nervous because you're in traffic and you didn't make it to wherever that internet connection is going to be, when it's time for you to teach or train, your nerves are not going to be okay. So you're not going to be efficient. You're not going to be productive. And your client is not going to receive what they need from you as a professional and global trainer. So in order to provide a great experience, you must make sure customer interactions are fast, convenient, and consistent. You don't want to say, okay, let's wait, my internet is not working right now, or it's on relay. So somebody asks you a question and you get it 3 minutes later. That is not the way it should be happening. We need to make sure that we never have the impact of poor internet. Persistence. And I've told you all these challenges, right? And I want to make sure that you understand that even if I'm giving you some solutions, these challenges are still going to be there. And sometimes we may not have the right solution. We learned from it and now we know what it is. So this is when I tell you, you need persistence in training. Training is all about one person giving information to another and using tools to convey this message, right? If something doesn't work, we may miss out. So you can't give up. Things will happen and we just have to continue going along. Maybe we may have to repeat the training again for free. Maybe we may have to postpone it. Maybe we may have to say, you know what, I'm not the person. I have to get somebody who knows more than me, but don't give up. Continue doing it. Training requires adaptability in a variety of situations, as well as reviewing and altering expectations. So what does that mean? We're going to have to be adaptable. We're going to have to be flexible. And even when we do all that, we may not get, or our client or the trainees may not get what they need. And you're going to have to continue with that. Persistence is about not giving up. It's about learning from the mistake and continuing going. And it can happen many times, and it could be a lack of internet. It can be a language barrier. You didn't know that 60% of the people in that training class do not speak English. You didn't know that. They told you everybody speaks English. Well, you didn't you were not prepared. So this is why we're talking about the challenges, the solutions, and if things don't work out, please don't give up. Persistence is very important. It keeps you on trail of possibilities that sustains when you hit a wall. I tried everything and nobody's understanding. Don't give up. Find somebody. Talk to somebody with experience. Look for a mentor. Say, you know what? I've been talking to this group and it's like I'm talking to a wall. You probably are. You're probably talking to a wall because they're not getting it. They're not understanding. But you go ahead, don't give up, and get the help that you need. It enables you to re-energize yourself to continue and explore other options. And I can't tell you enough that is going to happen. We may prepare for everything, but some things we just don't prepare for. And we have to not give up, find a solution, call our client and say, look, this did not work out. I'm going to do this again. I think one of the key, most important things is understanding the audience or your participants. Understanding an audience is at the core of any successful training, anything. I mean, if you don't know who you're talking to, then it's going to be very hard for you to explain anything to them. It's actually what drives effective teaching strategies. It increases brand equity for your client or for yourself, and ultimately it improves a company's bottom line. When we train, when we share our company's mission, when you are the person in charge of representing a value system, a mission statement, a vision, you're not part of the company, but you need to learn it. You need to feel like you are so you can transmit this. And the way you also learn that is knowing who's going to be there. Is it going to be customers? Are they going to be employees? Are they going to be leadership? Who am I talking to? And that is really important because you can't speak to leadership like you speak to entry-level employees. Their commitment is completely different. So I hope that you're understanding me when I'm speaking, because I think that this is really, really important. But understanding isn't a destination. It's a journey. So it's a process of constant review, refinement, and adjusting. Without regularly revisiting your target audience, and I mean every time that you train, even if you know this group, revisit it. Ask a question or two. There's some polls that you can do. Is everybody okay? Did anybody have COVID? Find out how people are feeling. If people are a little nervous, they're not going to be receptive. If there's an issue going on in their country that you don't know about, find out. These are the things that we need to prepare. We need to understand what our participants are feeling. What are they coming in with? And who is our audience? Are they teens? Are they people over 65? Are they PhDs? Are they farmers? Who are they? So I know exactly how to talk to them. So how to achieve this perfect understanding? Number one, research your target audience. Every journey towards understanding begins with defining who the target audience is. What are their ages? What are their genders? Where do they live? How much money do they make? Do they actually work? Did they actually study? These are questions that you create so you can find out more about your audience. And you need to be data backed. Data is king for anything. So when you ask those questions for research, that's data that you're accumulating that's going to help you analyze your audience or your participants later. So everything that you do is data. Write it down, organize it so you can actually analyze it and use it to the best of your ability. Let's talk about the challenges between training teens and adult learners. There's some things that you know about adult learners. They have stress. They're probably tired because they have responsibilities. And some things that you may find with an adult learner is that they don't have the time to spend, or they're in a hurry, or they're probably hungry, headache, different things, right? Things that have to do with just being an adult and adulting. But when we have teens or young learners, it changes a little bit. Any trainer with experience of training teenagers and adults will agree that the challenge is very different when teaching one or training the other. Each group requires different types of activities, a unique rhythm of the lesson. If you are teaching adults and they're falling asleep because they just went to work and they're here, you need to do something that keeps them up and about, right? Maybe coffee break every 15 minutes or time to get up and do some jumping jacks. You do something to keep them alert. but also when you have teens, they learn differently. Maybe you do a game with their phone, so you get all their attention, and you have a little social media game in immediately. So you have to start thinking, who am I talking to, and why am I talking to? And let me tell you, adults and teenagers or young learners are very different. Teens need clear instructions and continuous monitoring. Teachers know that, right? Educators know that. Constant attention, because their attention span can go away anywhere. So when somebody's paying you to teach or train young learners, you have to think about what activities you're going to implement so you keep their attention. And we know, studies show that, some say that it goes from 15 to 20 seconds to the best time to really take advantage of productive time is maybe a 90-minute process, but that's more for an adult. For a teenager, wow, you're lucky if you have them for 2 minutes, for 10 minutes, for 8 minutes. That is why social media does their videos no longer than 3 minutes. Because if not, they will lose their attention. So we need to know who we're talking to. Their attention span is short, so the rhythm of the lesson has to be dynamic, with activities changing ideally every 5 to 10 minutes. So every 5 to 10 minutes, you're going to change what you're doing, the way they're learning. This is key. They learn better when doing cooperative activities where they can interact with their classmates and they don't feel anxious about trying new activities. If you are going to train and you're going to have each one of them stand up in front of everybody to speak, most likely they're not going to love that. But if you think of activities where you have two of them stand up and one says what the other was going to say, there's no pressure. They still share the information. You still get to know what George wants and what Maria wants. You just told George to say what Maria says and Maria what George says. There is no pressure, and they'll contribute and they'll be part of it. So there's so many things that we need to think about when we're talking about teaching or training teens versus adult, or mentoring adults and mentoring teens. I mentor teens and I mentor adults, completely different ballgame. So we need to make sure that we are cognizant of that information. And also remember that young people are more curious and energetic than adults. Adults would love to come in and sit in air conditioning if it's hot outside and just relax. And they're not curious. They don't want you to give them more than what they really have to learn. I'm not talking about everybody, but the majority. We're adulting. Adulting is tiring. So these are challenges that are going to be posed to you as a global trainer. And I hope that I've offered some solutions to the most, usual challenges that you can face as a trainer. We need more trainers that believe in one world. That means make it smaller. We do it globally, but we make sure that we know who is our neighbor. So thank you so much. This is the module for facing challenges. Thank you. Let me go ahead and stop share.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Virginia. It was really great. So if our participants, attendees have any questions, they can be free and ask. So please, you can open your mic and be free and ask our great Dr. Virginia if you have some questions, something that you need to want more, or you are always, yes, and you are always free. You can write in the group if anything you want to know on this ed to ed or something. You can always ask in our groups. We are always audible. Okay, so if we don't have questions, now I will continue, but let me move from all medias because I cannot share if I have anything open. Okay. Facebook. So many pictures, photos, everything. So today we are coming on the module 5, setting smart goals. We can start from us. We can start from us because we are here all because we want to achieve our goals. We want to learn more. We want to be a trainer. So this was our goal when we come here to the IIU Global Training Program. Here, coming from IIU, we have amazing days. I want to once again say that we need to have our great Dr. Queen with us, but she didn't feel good these 2 days. So next time and some other session. Also, she has so many trainings and you can go and be free. Go on our YouTube channel. You can go there and you can find all our sessions, all our training sessions on the IIU official Facebook page. So let us see what will we go through this topic, this model. We will talk a little about new skills, time management, good organizational skills, accepting and tackling the challenges. When we are looking this all models, we see that they are all connected together, and every time some things are going it sounds like we are repeating something, but that is the concept of the learning of this program. So we need to overcome all our challenges. So yesterday I start with this and today I will also start with this. So we need to think about this. There is everything we can do. We only need to have a plan. We only need to have an aim. We need to have a goal. So now we need to go through everything through our life. Problem is not a problem. Everything we can solve. If it is a really big problem, we can always divide that problem in small steps, like we said. So it's just that we stay with problem longer. We will always have a solution to make this. Again, what qualities will you have after this training? You will have all these qualities. You will have all these qualities. So I can say proudly, very disciplined. We have a very disciplined group. After this training, we see you are all focused on this. Giving this organizations, giving this knowledge, very patience, taking care about the time. Today we started later, but this all days we were on the time. I'm sure that you all have expectations before starting, before coming here. And today, I'm sure that you can evaluate these 3 days, through what we go and what you learn, what we learn together these 3 days. It is a question of also everything is a question of our mindset. Do we have a positive mindset? If we don't have a positive mindset, we will never achieve our goals. So think always positive. There's something you cannot do, say, I will make it. If not now, tomorrow, for a few days, always you can ask for help. So we all have feelings. We all have emotions. We need to always pay the attention on our needs. We have our needs. If we are thirsty, we will drink a water. If we are hungry, so we know that we have our big Maslow's pyramid, that we are taking care about that pyramid. So what nothing can be always perfect. Nothing can be always perfect, but we will give ourselves. We need to support first us, and then we need to support our surroundings. So we need to think about that we will do it well. We will do it well, and we need to do all with our heart. also to help ourselves, to allow ourselves to set and maintain our aims and our goals. So you see how to grow our mindset. First, we need to know that we have fixed mindset and we have growth mindset, and that is not the same. We will see that that is not the same. If we talk about this growth mindset, uh, we mistake. It is good to make mistake because we are learning on our own mistakes. How many times we do things that not on the correct way. If it is about us, it is okay. But if we do that for somebody, for a person, for a friend, for a relative, for a team member, or for anyone, we really need to apologize. We need to apologize because then we cannot talk about a healthy relationship. We need to acknowledge new ways of thinking, new ways of thinking. These new generations also have new way of thinking, critical thinking, creativity, imagination. We need to have also imagination. We are still child. The age is not for even we know that every year we are older, we are still child in our hearts. So making things on the different way, if we say not yet, not yet, that is already a leisure. We need to have a practice, that we have a work, we need to have a work discipline. We need to have a work discipline. But yes, we don't need to be a work slave. Many of us are really a work slave. We don't have time for our own self. So that is not good. Even we think, yes, we realize our goals, but did we ask ourselves, are their goals more important than we? We need to think on ourselves. I say yesterday, if we don't think, nobody will respect us. That is the way. We need to respect us. And if we are growing, we need to celebrate that. Say, celebrate your growth and celebrate the growth of others. I always say, the social medias make so many problems, so many distance between people because people are monitoring what you are doing. So if they are not involved there's coming a stage of jealous. Never be jealous. Always be happy for everybody what he is doing. So if you have a positive mindset, if you think on that way, then other will also think on that way. So what are these differences? What are the main differences between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset? So first thing is, people with a growth mindset focus on effort. Yes, that are efforts. We need always we need to encourage ourselves. We need to encourage other. We are encouraging you. I already said at the beginning of this session, we are coming with a new mentorship program. And now, after being a certified trainer, you can be a certified mentor. So this is a reality. Then you are growing, and when you are growing, your mindset is also growing with you. So you need to try to choose the correct strategy. How? We know that when we have our goals, we we always have goals, aims, outcomes, mission. What is our mission and what is our vision? Where we see us for, like example, for 5 years. Where will I come for 5 years? What will be next year in this time? For 1 year. So you don't need to put a long term for your goals. Also, you can have short term for your goals. It depends what you want. So people with a growth mindset always focus on the effort. Effort is result of your work. So that is a pro. Then people with a fixed mindset love being complimented for their intelligence or talent. A fixed mindset. I can say all of us are talented. All of us are intelligent also, but it's there is a difference between personalities. So somebody thinks that he knows everything, and he enjoy that you write to him compliments. He wants so many likes on the social medias. If you don't give him compliments, her compliments, there is the end of the world. That is not good. That is not a good way when people want to be always complimented for their intelligence or talent. Uh, like a student, all students, we have students. Yes, I will. We always gave compliments to our students after their exams, after the evaluation. But uh, uh, if we do that alone, the student will think that he don't need to learn. He knows all. So never think that. That is a sign if you have that mindset, that type of mindset. So uh, people in growth mindset always try their ability. They want to learn and grow, and always try to have this growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset don't deal with failure well. Yes, because if they have a failure, uh, they will go deep in a hole. They will be very depressed, so frustrated. So it's better to try and fail than never to try at all. Listen, yes, it is. We need to try something, and yes, we can fall. So that when we fall, our mindset will grow. So that is good. That is good, and we need to believe in our skills and our abilities. We need to learn. Learning on this way, we are fixing them. So the failure is not a catastrophic. Failure is I say, a mistake, and we are learning by them. People with a growth mindset love trying new things. Yes, sometimes if you always do the things on the same way, it is not good. So then if you do that on that way, you are not innovative, you are not creative. We can say you don't have all the skills you need to have, no hard skills, no soft skills. You are not changing, you're not a change maker. You need to try new things. It is like with technology today. Every day we are trying, choosing, finding. When we are doing anything, we try new things, and that is the way how our mindset is also growing, taking the new challenges. And someone who has a fixed mindset uh, already thinks that he have that, but that is also a mistake. It is a failure. Always take a look at your life uh, and try to do something new, and that is the way of the learning. Then people with a fixed mindset tend to be super result oriented. That is so. uh when we talk about the styles, so what will I say with this fixed mindset? He's not a democratic person. I can say he's more energetic like energy. So when we say he thinks that he has all, nobody today don't have all. So I think this win lose strategy. This person, I think a heartache will get when lose something, what he and things that he cannot do. So making these people are making their life terrible. People with a growth mindset embrace feedback. Yes, I always, not me. We need a feedback. We need a feedback after our work. We need a feedback when we do something. We ask for the opinion, our colleagues, our team member. We want to understand that we want a constructive feedback. I don't like when I ask somebody and say, yes, it is super. No, no, critic is also good when because and to listen others' opinion, to listen other opinions because sometimes you think that you make it wonderful that you are on the right way, but you are not. So this feedback constructive feedback can help you and can give you a new opportunity, and you will then grow again. People with a fixed mindset take fewer risks. Yes, people, their world, so they only do things that they are capable of doing because they think that they are capable to do are the only things on the world. That is not true. They don't have opportunities for the growing. They don't want to take a challenge. They are not change makers. So first step, we need always to make a first step if we want to be successful. This is something deepen again in psychology, deepen your subject expertise. So we have this theories, Oxfam rather simplicity. Simplicity is always the best. You need to be very simple and try to solve everything on a simple way. The map territory relation. Relation on the map. Do I choose the right path? Am I on the right place? Like example, now is my room really good position? Have a good position. So at the left side, what I have the left side on the right side, and did I have a good position? Normal distribution, we know what it means. We have a standard deviation, we have a variance. So what is the standard deviation? How many deviations are we doing, doing in our subject? These feedback loops, we already said, we need this constructive feedbacks, zero sum or non-zero sum. Sometimes we will never sum nothing, and correlation is not causation. If we think that what is important here, correlation can be negative, and also it can be strong. So how I explain to my students how they understand. I always say, I took two students to say there is a positive correlation between Peter and Anna, but it is still negative. So that is the reality. So correlation is not a causation. What about our skills? We are living in what industrial revolution, how many revolution are going. So we need to have these demands. And now it is July, 7 months in 2023. We are witnessing this demand for these skills. Data literacy, cloud computing, collaborative negotiation, self-growth ability. If we want to handle all this, we need to have this ability. We want to grow. We want to grow. Growing, we get the creativity. Growing, we have more courage, and then we can be better leader. We can be a better leader, and always we can recognize what we don't and what is missing to us. What are the skills that we need to learn? That was the demand. What skills we need to learn in 2023? These are correlated with technology. Again, because from cloud computing, from digital marketing, from this big data, AI, this is already with us. This my presentation today focus on English. So, artificial intelligence help me already to make this translation, how we are getting money, how we are transferring money from the blockchain. So this is a digital era, still a digital era. We need this digital transformations. But after today's session, when Dr. Snikta gave you your certificate, you are a certified trainer. So what are the key skills of trainer? What key skills do you need like a certified global trainer? So let us go through this. Listening in order to understand. Yes. Questioning to clarify and make sure that you have understand correctly. Again, asking questions. That is very important. Our Dr. Ravi yesterday, day before said, please open your camera. Please ask the questions because we cannot have a feedback. We cannot have a feedback if we are talking and we don't see you. And also we don't have a feedback if you are not asking us nothing. Then skill for trainers also, action planning for the future. Here I put like for the mentor and mentee. This stages is also the same for the mentor and for the mentee. Develop the skills. We need to develop skills. You need to have new creative ways of thinking. Your self-awareness grow these days. I'm sure that you have so many new positive energy. So here, active listening, empathy, understanding, communication, questioning, goal setting, enthusiasm, giving feedback, and checking in. So what is this goal setting? Goal setting is a process. It can be a short-term process and a long-term process, but we want to identify something that we want to accomplish. We want to accomplish, but that what we want to accomplish, it really needs to be measurable and it needs to be have the specific object if we want to achieve it. So goals are like our desires. Goals are like our desires. They are the results. If we want to achieve them, we really need to work. We need to work on this. This 5R. 5R is for the goal setting. We need to have this goal setting. So how to have this 5 resolutions? First, dream big, set goals, and take action. Our dream can come reality if we set correctly the goals and if we take the action. So then we need this results, reason. What is the reason? Reflection. How reflection? So ask yourself what you need to do to reach your goal. Then identify the actions that are most critical to reach your goal. Prepare for the unexpected. There's always a risk. There is always a risk. Everything what we are doing has a sense of risk, a percent of risk. We never don't know what can happen and what can we accept in achieving our goals. Resters. Yes, we need resters. We need resters sometimes. If we are planning something, some kind of business, we need money. We need inputs. We need inputs if we want to make some product. So again, we need to have inputs for our outputs and responsibilities. Who is responsible? And you need to be responsible. In everything what you are doing, you need to be responsible. So I will say brainstorming. Brainstorming is today very important for you. You need to have always a notice behind that. Now I'm talking, and uh, sometimes I get the idea. Please write that, because if you don't write it, you forget it. How many times I forget many things, what I think, oh yes, that is great. I need to do that. And then I don't notice that, I don't write, and I forget that. So brainstorming can help you, give you this a new potential for this. Let us discover the skills that can help us. We need to manage ourselves. I'm repeating, always focus on yourself, on your goals. Have a integrity, also adaptation. You need to be adaptable person and take a initiative. If you don't take a initiative, be sure that nobody will take a initiative for you. Nobody will achieve your goals. You are the person who are trying and who want to achieve the goals. Then, working with others. Nobody, we are not Pale alone on this world. We need to communicate. We need to collaborate. Also, we need to have feelings. We need to have feelings for our collaborators, for our team members, for our groups, for our friends, for our relatives, and feeling working with others. If I don't have a feeling for myself, I cannot have a feeling for nobody. And leading, everybody of us are a leader. We are a leader in our work, what we are doing. If I'm an educator, I'm an educator leader. If you are an entrepreneur, you are a leader. We don't need to run a business to be a leader or to be a manager. We are managing our work and always creating the change. So for creating the change, we need to have this sense of curiosity, again, creativity, making the sense, and critical thinking. That are the elements of creating the change. So what you think, what is the change? Do you have in your do you put some things for your future? Do you set some goals that you want to achieve in this time? I'm sure that everything what you try to do will be good. And we come to this SMART. So these are the goals. We are calling them SMART goals. So if we are smart, we will have SMART goals. But no, this is in the economy. This is for everything. We need. This is if we want to achieve them. If they need to be specific. State what you'll do. Use action words. So how can I say? I want to earn $10,000. How can I earn $10,000 if I cannot I don't have a salary to get that amount of money? That is not a specific goal. Measurable. Find a way to evaluate. Use metrics or data targets. I can say, like example, what is measurable? That are not theoretical. So measurable. I want to increase my salary for 5%. That is measurable. Increasing your salary for 5%, like example. Achievable. Within the scope, you can access this. It can be relevant. Relevant makes always sense with your job function, improves your business in the way. And time bound. Time in that time. This smart is in everything what we are doing. Even we want, like example, even we want to start to make a research. We are talking about reliability, validity, about this time metrics, time bounds, and doing this on the specific time. I want to we start we start our days with this topic. So I want to say, take care about ethics. Take care about be a moral person. Code of ethics. Always set up rules and principles that will encourage the ethical conduct for your group. Try to distinguish what is the ethics, what is the conduct, code of conduct, and code of ethics. That is not the same. There is a difference. Code of ethics is a set of principles. Code of conduct is a set of rules. Principles are not same like the rules. How can we make decision and how we need to act? That is something that is, you see, different. Focusing on values are not same as focusing on the rules. So have a narrow scope, have a broader scope, publicity disclosed, and usually code of conduct. Code of conduct. We hear two unique documents. Code of ethics, decision making, and code of conduct are govern actions. So these are representing, these are the self-regulate what we need. Code of ethics. What is code of ethics? Statement like company's constitution, some like what I put like an example, we have the effect of decision making. So our organization is committed to protect the environment and wants to be green. We need to have in our code of ethics the state that we want to be green. This is really what when something is right or when something is wrong. So this code of ethics always help us to guiding us to make a good decision. That is what we are talking about, setting our goals. Setting our goals are correlated with this code of ethics. making business ethics, elevating always the strategy, thinking about the strategy, protecting, managing, reporting. So creating, we need to have a culture of trust and respect. Culture of trust and respect. If we don't have the culture of trust and respect, how can we take action? How can we say that we are really an ethic organization? Then we are not an ethic organization. So I will not choose this theory. Let us go on this example. Ethical dilemma. Gift giving and accepting. Today we know that when the academic year comes at the end, the school years comes in, so professors, teachers always get some kind of a gift in elementary school when they are finishing, in the secondary school when they are finishing. So gift giving and accepting. If we don't have this, if
We've waited for 11 minutes. At least if they want to join, they're supposed to know that what we want to discuss or anything. It's not that we have something. So I think maybe Mr. Manasseh is somehow busy. And those people that join later, we don't know what is this thing. So do we have anything to discuss? Maybe we have something to discuss so that we discuss it and see the way forward.
Okay, respected Steven, we can stop here, no problem. So we can,
yes,
we can
open... go ahead, Mr. Susintu.
No, I don't need to repeat. This is already Dr. Nidhi do this, but I wanted to make only correlation with my models and with this ethic and conducting this professional. So let us open the questioning and answering. We are here, so you can start, Mr. Steven. Please open your camera.
The culture and everything, everyone of whatever he or feels like doing. So I don't know what you can do, but I always get the CS members, that can contribute positively.
I don't hear you. Dr. Virginia, do you hear him?
Our goal is to
Oh,
work and try it.
I don't understand
So if,
nothing.
so I don't
he
know
may
how
have to
if so
leave and
that
come
that
back.
and
Come to leave and come back
Professor
again, and we'll
Nada,
maybe.
can you continue, Professor Nada? This is our normal routine.
working
We give
together,
conclusion, we give
people
summary.
of
Please continue.
volunteerism and working for the community. I don't know how you see it, but I think that's one of the things that should be tackling our.
Okay, I will not go through the presentation. I want to summarize, I will summarize this days what we have here these days. So let me start what we do this 3 days. And I already say the things what are in the correlation, what we needed to learn, our great group what needs to know. So we have who is a trainer. So I think that all of us, when we ask today, need to know who is a trainer. So who is a trainer? A trainer is a person who trains someone on some aspect of requirement of his organization. So what it means, she always are guiding us, giving us instructions, developing new skills, and doing this work. That is a trainer. It is a person who will communicate to the trainees about what is expected from the training. So we now know what is the difference between a trainer, a training, and mentoring. If we talk about training, trainer always needs to give a knowledge, it needs to have that attitude. If we are talking about the mentoring, we always need to involve somebody to help us. Then we go through the survey, go through the needs and requirements for the international trainer. I like his quotes. He used quotes when we are learning something new. So what it means to have an educational qualification. Saravi said and called that PET. What it means for that? P is professional. E is educated, T is trained. So that is our educational qualification. Then no language barriers, practice communication, verbal, non-verbal skills, public speaking. Public speaking is very important. If more speaking, we are more better. Everything of this help us to grow professionally. If we want to achieve any goal, we need to have confidence. Confidence will give us. We need to brush our skills, because soft skills are our life skills. Only on that way we can bring it in the education, give it to the adults, to the adolescents. How to understand the role of a trainer. If we want to understand the role of a trainer, we need to have trust. What trainer for Sir Ravi means? That is amazing. I like, so, I have a visual memory, so I always remember this visually. So what for him is a trainer? T is trust. R is relevant. A is architect. We are our architect. We are building. So then intellectual, I is intellectual. N is non-discriminative. E is an elevator, and R is relearning. always learning and relearning. That is for us important. Then Saravi said, he mapped, she swept. What it means for he, him, he mapped, she swept. We can make the simulation. Humbleness is very important. Enthusiasm. Skills are for the swap. Willingness, he said willingness, attitude, and passion. Passion is important. If we don't have passion, we will do. David, we like educators, we are always we are following the Kolb's learning skill, the Kolb's learning style. So what we are doing, when we work, we have our experience. When we work more, we have more experience. But we can always test. Somebody can test our knowledge and skills, and that can have a positive or negative impact, and the reflection, if we learn, is positive. Taking everything what we are doing, like this interactive, cooperative, we need to be collaboration, communication, and the famous 4C. Then we have a conceptualization. Today, so we never. The rule is never stop sharing your knowledge, your voice, because if you can always inspire somebody. That is also the motto of a trainer. Try to inspire somebody. Setting the goals. The goals are always SMART. So today I talk about this. What SMART refers. SMART refers to specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. And not only the SMART, we say today the 5R, but we have the 5Ds. The 5Ds are also very important. So everybody of us have a desire. We all have a dream. If we want to achieve our dream, we need a dedication. Dedication, devotion, and a discipline. We need to be disciplined. So the 5D is desire, dream, dedication, devotion, and the discipline. So conducting this training, we make analysis, we make so many new steps. When we started, our great Dr. Snikta, she was thinking about the outcomes. When creating this training session, she first determined the outcomes, the desired outcomes. Then she tried to find a trainer. So she identified the trainable competences. She needs trainer with competences, with the skill. After this, our audience can evaluate the competences. So this is the way how we are creating this training session. We need to always prioritize our needs, training methods, cost benefit analysis. We are witnesses that this 3 days, it was really a very symbolic price. So the cost benefit analysis you can always make. Talking about the modern pedagogy, taking care about the andragogy, being a great leader, having a sense for the humor, setting your SMART goals. So what to say? We need to always accept and tackle the challenge. Don't run from the challenges. Don't run from the mistakes. Be always an optimist, because skill is practical. Without practice, It cannot be transferred. If we don't practice, we will never do. Like example, if I want to be a dentist, if I want to make a teeth, I need to have practical skills in my hands. I need to feel that. I need to be a good, I can say a good designer. So skill is practical. Without practice, it cannot be transferred. Think about that. Always practice that. Always practice that. Uh, uh, Attitudes, manners, persona, a natural trainer. If you want to be a natural trainer, you need to have you need to be self-inspirational, not overacting, not criticizing, no empathy. So keep participants first. You are always on the first place. Be an active listener. If you are not listening, you will never learn nothing. If you don't, you need to understand. Respect, and vice versa. Always respect other. Enjoy learning because the learning is a lifelong journey, and if we don't, with our audience or without the audience. Here for the principles, think always what is right, what is not right, who is right. Somebody, one, if you are going somewhere to have a public speaking, always be prepared. Be prepared to also read and listen, know and to understand, to take, to think, to know the difference, the distinction between the truth and fact. Try to apply, try to practice it. One, if you are prepared, you will be productive. Also, you will be a multitasking persona and believe in yourself. So, always check, recheck, cross-check, and double check. What it means? There are 4 things you need to do. The rule: check, recheck, cross-check, and double check. That is very important. We never need to argue. We don't need to argue, but uh, we are here to win. But we are here to win the hearts. We are here to win the hearts. We want to win your hearts, your mind, your body, your heart. Make you a trainer. Think about that. Mind, body, and heart will make you a trainer. So if we have a skill has an objective, then we need to learn something. Then we have the movement. Think on these facts. Challenges, cultural difference, language barriers. Yesterday, I said, yes, we all are coming from different culture, but no difference for us. Language barriers, there is no language barrier. We can learn all. Meeting deadlines, always we need to meet the deadline. Try to not cross the deadline. Today, we have time managing. Yesterday, we talked about time constraining. What can be a problem? A problem can be our network if it is not instability. And what will I say here? Yeah, this is for me very important. Always try to understand your audience. Try to understand the type of audience, the participants. They're always not, you don't have always the same audience. That audience where is different. Try to handle your training sessions. Try to understand your audience. If you are going to train students, try to try to understand them, because it is not the same to work with adolescents and with the adult learners. So there's so many rules. So what a challenge mean? What are the synonyms? We talk about this ethics, we talk about the conduction and all these things. I want to finish my speak because I think that I talk a lot. I talk a lot. Professor Nada, your earlier summary with your slides would have been the best talk is okay. Professor Charles, you want the slides to go through slide. I think that this is, I make a summary of all these 3 days. So we come to the end. We want to thanks to Dr. Snikta. We want to thanks to our great founder. We want to thanks to our great audience, to our Vice Chancellor, to all our trainers these days. Today, Dr. Virginia. I hope that we will meet again in another session, in another training. Also, you are free to join us in the training session. So you can be a speaker. You can join us like a speaker. You can join the mentorship program. Bike Up, we have big interactive projects, so you can join us in the Bike Up. And that is from my side. So, Professor Charles, what you want to say now?
Thank you very much, my able sister, Professor Nada. I give kudos to you. You managed the time, you did everything maturely. I appreciate
And
God
yes,
for
you know, Professor Charles,
Because-
in the minute like yesterday, we are doing the same in the minute. Yes, thank you,
Actually,
Virginia. So, Miss Rina, Steven, Yoti, anything to add?
I'm not finished talking. You have to stop me. Why now?
No,
I was
okay,
trying to
sorry,
appreciate you.
sorry,
I was-
Professor Charles,
I was
sorry.
trying to appreciate you, and at the same time, appreciate our able Virginia, Dr. Virginia. I thank God for you also for the way God used you, and I appreciate you. All the cultural talk, everything you talk was so fantastic. I bless you. I bless God for you, and so appreciate our able global academic director and CEO, our Dr. Signa. I thank God for her. She also tried, but she's always at the background. She loved being at the background. I thank
No,
God for her.
Professor Charles, she has a
thank God for her.
problem. No, she has network
Let me
problem.
finish. I'm not finished, Professor Nada. I also appreciate our able, amiable advocate, Sir Piyush Pandit. He is a very good mentor. He's our visionary. He's our mentor. I thank God for him. He has been pulling us. He has been pushing us. And I thank God for everything. He has a good team. We are a good team. We are people who cooperate very well. And we'll keep on cooperating. And God will come to empower us. Like the trainees, I pray that God will come to empower you with wisdom. The little we have been able to say today, by the special grace of God, we are going to say more. Time constraint. We want more people to join us. There are so many people there who wants to do in Nigeria because of this conversion, the rating, and all that. That was why we didn't see much of
Professor
them.
Charles, Professor
I'm
Charles,
assuring us by the grace of God, next subsequent one, we are going to have enough people just to make sure that we have effective and efficient program. And I pray that God will come to help us and give us the graces we need for us to come to work stronger. I will change. I remain the change. I will keep on excelling because we are capable people who are able to demonstrate the glory of God in educational functions. May God come to strengthen us and empower us. Thank you, our able trainees. May God come to help you all so that you understand us very well. As you understand us, you like dealing with us because we are always on a daily basis educational program. We showcase it so that people will know that IIU is the best. Remain the revolutionary, remain the best. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. God bless you.
A big clap for our great Vice Chancellor, Virginia. Please, the last words and our thank you, dear Yoti. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for writing. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. So everybody, I just want to say that thank you for inviting me and to be part of the Train the Trainer. I think that definitely being a trainer is going to be very, very important in the next few years. And as we continue to globalize and use technology to the benefit of education. So be the best trainer that you can be. I have a deck that I'm not going to use, but there's some things that I want to finish by telling you. Use humor in everything that you do. Humor is a great way to have people retain what they learn. Also, be polite. Always, as a trainer, you need to be polite and understand. You also need to be adaptable to changes because as a trainer, they're going to change things on you and you're going to need that adaptability. And I think one of the most important things is that you need to be empathetic. You're going to have people that come from all different walks of life that are going to be learning from you. And empathy, learning to deal with every person and putting yourself in their shoes is key. Being a good customer service person is important, but I think that handling issues is also going to be very, very, very key in your relationships when you are training. So thank you again for having me here. It's one of my topics that I really, really love to do, and I've been doing it for a long time. So I think this is just a great opportunity to be certified as a global trainer. Take advantage of it. And I just heard Professor Nada say that you can also be certified as a mentor. Take advantage of that opportunity also. I think mentoring, coaching, anything that's personal development is going to continue to grow. So take advantage of that. Thank you again to Mr. Pandit for allowing me to be part of this wonderful platform and this university. Thank you, Dr. Charles. Thank you, Professor Nada, for having me here.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, dear Virginia. So thank you all, our great audience. Thank you so much, and wish to see you very soon in another training session. And yes, be free if anything is not clear. You can ask in the group. We are here. We are always audible. We here. Our great Dr. Snikta, our Vice Chancellor, Professor Charles, Virginia, Dr. Virginia, me, and all our team members of IIU are here. Thank you. Thank you. Till our next see, I think that this training needs to be longer, more days than 3 days, you know. So, Dr.
Exactly.
Snikta,
Thank
are
you
you
very much.
here? Dr. Snikta? No, Dr. Snikta don't hear us. So we are finished. So bye. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.